Good evening, Burtonites. It's your old friend Hubie Brown here, stepping in to do some quick playoff power rankings for you. Post-trade deadline rankings, I should say. We're going to start out here with Big Slick Sloth, who is understood to have the best chance of winning Willie B. He's in the playoffs. He has the best player in LeBron. He has an understood player who could be the best in the NBA or in fantasy, which is Kobe. And then he has another top 6 NBA and fantasy player in Dirk. Should any of these guys need to perform in the finals for Sloth, he can count on them. The same goes for Pierce at a lower scale. He's a high mid-20s player, but in a big game on a Sunday, perhaps against Cavs, which I believe might be the Willie B Finals, Hubes will be there. He could be counted on if he's not injured. Sloth also has a 30-point center who seems to be able to be a great playoff center. However, be forewarned, should Sloth and JLA meet in the finals, Bogut's migraines might act up and Dr. Gyron may not be there to help him out. That should be a question mark to think about. We'll move on to Aaron Brooks. It's understood Sloth will be having nightmares with every Golden State game, which Curry has a monster in, which should be most of them. He'll also be thinking about that Vince and Garnett for Brooks proposal at the deadline, which is understood he should have accepted, but Sloth has made so many good moves up to this point to get Brooks. Who are we to say that he should give him up? Kmart, again, solid as could be this year. However, Hubes worries a bit about him in the playoffs, getting 2 technicals in the first quarter with a 3 or being injured for some stupid reason. That said, he's performed for Sloth. If he's going to go down with Kmart, he's going to go down with Kmart. If he's going to win it with Kmart, that is hard. And here we have a slight problem with Sloth, where it's just his 8th man. It's understood you got your main as a backup center, which is respectable. However, to use him as a guard in the playoffs is a bit annoyed, despite his good play of late. His 28.5 minutes a game scares Hubes a bit. Looking at Sloth's bench, not Dactyl, Artest, Heinrich, these guys cannot be trusted, and Marcus Thornton could be his best option. However, there's plenty of time for ad drops and the NBA trade deadline to shake things up for Sloth to pick up a legitimate 8th man and 30-point potential part and voice player. So next we're going to move on to JLA, who has masterfully traded since the Bear left. They started out 5-1 and then traded Boozer and lost about 4 straight. Got Boozer back and have won every game since, while shaking Boozer with 23, getting him over to me and then trading him from me for Josh Smith. I traded Boozer for Curry. I don't know what happened, but JLA has Boozer and Millsap. Bosch is a 40-pointer. Dwight Howard is a 40-pointer. Brandon Roy, if healthy, is a low 30s. And Bargnani is a perfect complement to Bosch this year. They seem to have monsters together, and JLA is deadly if that should happen against you. Jason Kidd for Devin Harris trade. We're not going to question it, despite the fact that Harris is a better fantasy player, because Kidd can be relied on to fill up the stat sheet pretty much every game. Odom is an understood 30-pointer. Don't make Hubes Gmail himself over the last 8 or 9 years. He's a 30-pointer if he plays. If he gets Phil Jackson slapped, he's obviously less, but with an injury to any Laker player, he is a 30-pointer, and seems to be right now. Tony Parker, high 20s player. If he's healthy, nothing to worry about. If he misses a game or 2 in a week where you have him, not much to worry about, although he could destroy you with a game around 20. But generally speaking, if he's healthy enough to start, he's going to be fine. Millsap obviously is the Boozer insurance. Should Boozer get traded in the NBA, Millsap immediately becomes a 32-pointer at least, and Boozer also will remain at least around a 30 or higher. And don't get me started on Hines Hill. Richard J could be started in disaster. Martell Webster, you got to be kidding me. Again, JLA reads the trade news in the NBA more than anyone. Sheridan voice and Hollinger voice, and you know the rest. Mark Stein voice. JLA will be making ad drops. I would say the third-ranked team is going to have to be Brahim. Despite having the worst draft, getting called out profusely by Fenster, being 12th in the power rankings, Brown, etc., Brahim has made the moves to Jeff Fisher's way to a winning record and controlling his own destiny for the Willie B playoffs. Brahim entered the season much like a boy, and with his recent Hib mitzvah, became a man and proved he was a man when Parnell, after not trading back with 23 earlier in the year, claimed he made a trade with Brahim that he did not mean to do, and Milos gentlemanly gave it back, proudly rolled with his team into the next week. As expected, the guys provided him with a victory, and he just needs 2 more against TVL and Dim Sum Dookie to make the playoffs. Hubie has the utmost respect for the squad this year, despite its lack of move power. Granger is obviously a mid-30s player and is a decent one-man. Kevin Martin, Westbrook, and Stuckey all are 30-pointers with potential to go higher and not much potential to be worse. You see their averages in the high 20s, but Hubes believes the rest of the year they will all be 30 or higher, or around there. Nene is a mid-20s solid center. Scola is a mid-20s solid forward, I guess, and not a good one-man, but certainly a good six-man. Now, this is where Milos has trouble. Although the late Carlson addition is huge for his 7th man, he still doesn't have an 8th man. You could start Thaddeus. Hughes would respect that, but in the playoffs you won't win. T-Mac, we don't know why he's still in the squad, except that you're getting him a ring. And then we got Nanad, Jameer, and Fig Brewer, who I believe all made Hubie's Willie B lottery song of tackle box picks. So Brahim, just like the rest of the teams I've mentioned, are